Welcome to the Filmistines, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $5 tier will grant the ability to request films for future episodes. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. All around you. And welcome back to another episode of the Filmistines. Thank you for joining us today. Very timely episode. We're trying to get this one out quick. I'm joined today by my Chuck E. Cheese going friend, Lucy.
Hello, everyone.
We've already established you weren't touching the mouse.
Yes.
But you went pretty often?
Oh, like every weekend. I was a Chuck E. Cheese goer for sure.
You probably have good antibodies.
I have great antibodies.
You can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for brand new episodes of the Filmistines. We can't thank you enough for giving us some of your time. Think about going over to Patreon and giving us some of your money. Some previous episodes include Gran Turismo, Ford vs. Ferrari, The Nun 2, and Saw X.
Yeah, go listen to us argue.
But today, we are coming in hot off the press. Probably our fastest time ever getting an episode out after release. Emma Tammy's Five Nights at Freddy's. How about that?
Whoa.
I don't really know how to start off this episode because I guess I'll just run out of the gate saying it. Woof. This movie's not good. This movie's boring. This movie has the bare bones of direction, bare bones of story, bare bones of dialogue, but really cool set design. What would you call the animatronics? Are they part of the set design? I'm not sure, but whatever the animatronics, however you want to describe them in that way, very cool too. I'm very curious if you were falling asleep during this movie. How do you feel about this?
I was definitely falling asleep during this movie.
I was too.
I was so bored. It wasn't too kiddie or anything like that, which I thought was going to be the problem.
Okay, you thought it would be a problem?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it was pretty kiddie.
I don't think so. Like, if this is what you would do for kids, you would do it wrong too. Or maybe it was. I mean, I don't know. I think there was too much focus on Mike's
trauma.
Yeah, his trauma for it to be kiddie. And it also wasn't done very well for it to be successful for adults, I guess, if you want to say it like that.
Yeah, we don't. It's hard. It's one of these hard things to really dissect in that way. Is it the performances, our actors, or is it the direction? It's hard to say. Of course, we've got PETA, right? And he's probably in several other things.
Yeah, he's in a lot of things.
He is?
Yep.
Oh. But of course, we also have Beck again.
Yes.
I don't think she's in an awful lot. It's kind of funny that we've recently covered two of her films now.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of funny. We know Beck's decent at the very least, and I think PETA probably has a little bit more in him that he could give. What's his name? Josh?
Oh, wait.
Hutcherson. You know, he's always kind of, I think, been in that almost breakout space where he might become a kind of a big name kind of thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, I mean, nothing stellar out of these guys this time around.
Yeah, I think even Abby, I don't know who she's played by, did as decent of a job as these seasoned people.
Yeah, so it's really, I guess, kind of hard to say if it's Emma or their fault. But, yeah, I mean, I will say, as far as kid actors go, I'm kind of tough on them. She was as good as the others, so I feel like that's actually a kind of a compliment.
Yep. I think so, too.
On some level, yeah. What do you think about this, man? Why wasn't this better?
I mean, there was no horror elements, even though I guess this is being classified as a horror film, at least on Wiki. And we have nothing there. I mean, sure, somebody gets chomped in half and they try to do some jump scares, but they don't deliver like they should. I don't know what. Maybe the build up wasn't quite there, or the lead to the jump scare wasn't quite there. I could see the try behind the, what was it, the balloon man jump scares.
Yeah,
but they were kind of forced jump scares because
absolutely.
Mike here was the one getting scared, not us.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it just didn't deliver like I thought they would.
It reminded me of the games. I'm not super familiar with the games, but I have always, since the takeover on YouTube with the lore, Five Nights at Freddy's lore, it's pretty interesting because there's just so many avenues and so many puzzle pieces that people have kind of put together with this. And it's kind of interesting coming from, a super independent, well, at one point, I guess, super independent studio. And it just has this weird fandom that's just kind of always been in my peripheral, some real tangential to the gaming industry and stuff. But the core of the game, early games at least, are, those jump scares that you see them coming and they prey on that thing chasing you, basically.
Yeah.
And I know you've played a game or two, right?
Yeah.
After you've played a game or two, kind of to completion, and then you continue playing them for whatever reason, I think you become immune to the scares.
I don't think so.
Because I don't think they actually know how to scare you in the game either. And I think there's something happening here because we have something similar. They try to scare you in a similar way with at least Foxy, where he runs up on you like 3 times. Just like the game.
I don't think you can compare it to the game, though, because the games, at least the ones I've played, I don't know if they are all VR, but the ones I've played have been VR. So it's...
I guess the VR does help.
It does help creep with that creep element.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess the non-VR games, I've never played those. So that creepy element stays there no matter how many times I played it.
Okay.
But, there's also something about you pushing the button, you manipulating the thing. You're going to get got. You're not watching, someone on screen get got. So I think it's unfair to really compare them. But I do think the games are creepier, at least in a VR sense. I can't speak for the rest of it. But I feel like the movie just went a little too much on trying to scare you, because I mean there was absolutely no build up, and it would have helped if it was, I don't know, maybe more terror, more
graphic.
blood. Yeah,
that would help. Yeah, I was surprised at the lack of blood, the lack of gore, I guess, and violence, because the games really aren't violent, but there's kind of an implied violence in the instance of you dying.
Right.
And so in a movie, you would imagine there's definitely going to be violence.
Right.
And even when he was getting scratched and stuff, it looked pretty bad.
Yeah, it did. It looked like they didn't even try, or they've never seen a horror movie where there's real violence or scarier violence, not real violence. Even, when Max gets chomped in half, when, what's another really violent part? When that guy presses his hand on the door and there's blood there, even those things aren't super graphic at all, which those should be. Somebody getting chomped in half needs to be super graphic.
Yeah, because it's crazy.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff makes me believe that this is 100% targeted towards small kids between the ages of probably 6 and 9 kind of thing. And
I would get that if the rest of the film was targeted towards them too, but it wasn't.
I'm kind of, I feel like it still is, because they went so light on the drama. But they focused on it so hard, but they didn't give us anything.
Yeah.
And they lingered on it in such a just pathetic way. I don't know, to manipulate us into a point of forced interest, to have the big reveal, I guess.
Yeah.
The surprise. The cop is the daughter of William Afton. It's like, okay. Did you see it coming?
No.
Were you even awake to see it coming? My mind was not.
No.
I was like, oh, that's obvious. I didn't see it coming. I knew he was up to something. I didn't quite think that far.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I can never remember William Afton's name. I've watched all of Matt Pat's theory videos and shit. Probably about 5 or so hours of theory videos on just what all the lore means and stuff and how it all adds up. And so, the William Afton gets brought up quite a bit, and I can never remember his name. But so that would help to kind of try to connect that Scooby-Doo as William Afton. Not Scooby-Doo. To help that Shaggy is William Afton.
Yeah, how'd you feel about Shaggy being our villain here?
Stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming to that degree. Probably because my brain just was not functioning.
Yeah.
Obviously, Vanessa was kind of up to something too, or hiding something, I should say.
Right.
That was very clear. Obviously, Shaggy was hiding something, and in addition to my history with Five Nights at Freddy's, I know there's kind of more than meets the eye, but my brain was just not firing on any cylinders during this movie.
Yeah.
This is probably the most boring movie of the year.
It was pretty boring. I hate to say the most something of the year because I can't remember them all.
I don't remember being this bored, man. Even during Transformers.
I mean, The Little
dude.
Mermaid, I was hella bored.
Man,
I'd rather watch this than The Little Mermaid, for sure.
At least we get cool.
The
Puppet
animatronics,
yeah. They're pretty cool.
There's nothing cool in The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
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 All right.
I guess the potential there was kind of cool, but I guess that wasn't actually in the movie.
I can't
either.
see the potential. But
the potential here is cool too. I don't understand why we had to retcon the beginning of Five Nights at Freddy's. Why couldn't we just assume everyone knows the lore and then just we just kind of take a snapshot out of that's the story, the big story that's there.
Yeah. Because the people that are going to see this are the people that are familiar.
Yeah.
So
and
just
then
take it from there. Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's is creepy. It's weird. And you can make it, I feel like it shouldn't be this hard. And if I remember correctly, I don't think the yellow bunny, I should know this too. There is no yellow bunny in the games. It's a specific Freddy that he gets trapped in.
William Afton gets trapped in a specific Freddy.
Yeah. And don't ask any questions about the lore, please.
Oh, I wasn't planning to.
But I think it's just him doing maintenance kind of goes wrong. And he gets trapped there and he's for a while. And the suit's keeping him alive. And he's also in just continued pain for years until someone finds him, until a security guard finds him or something.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, see, the lore's not even important in this movie.
Yeah.
You don't have to know anything about.
No, they set it all up. It's
yeah.
I don't wonder why. What is this a different timeline?
It sounds like you have perfectly awesome material out there.
Dude, yes.
So, yeah, okay. So the potential for this film was definitely missed. Oh my God.
And I hate to see Scott Cawthorn. I think he's our creator here. I feel like we should have a little bit more love behind the wheel. And I guess it's also worth saying he's not a screenwriter.
Yeah.
He's not a storyteller on this kind of level. Not to say it's lesser or greater, but it's different to get messages across, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because in his games, there's a lot of flavor text, everything, lots of documents and, little bios of characters. That there's not dialogue, there's not cutscenes, there's not, what you can kind of imagine would be a natural translation to more of a cinematic thing like The Last of Us, right? It's none of that. It's all subtext. There may be a little bit of blame to move around on Scott too. It's just it sucks, man. Not the movie, not just the situation sucks.
Yeah.
The movie kind of sucks too, but
yeah, we were just talking about how we were on the upswing of video game movies.
Yeah.
But this definitely brought it down a bit.
Yeah. Cuz it has similar kind of sensibilities to, I think, Resident Evil. I could see some coolness happening. I could see some people maybe liking this just because of, it's Freddy and Bonnie and Chica and stuff. Did you even know the bunny was named Bonnie?
No.
The blue bunny?
I guess I only knew Freddy and Foxy though. I didn't remember the yellow bird's name.
Okay.
But they said Chica, and I was like, oh, that the chick. Okay, that sounds like her. And then Bonnie, I was like, who the fuck is Bonnie? I guess that's the bunny. All
Bonnie
right.
Bunny.
Sweet.
That's funny.
Got it.
Then Freddy Fazbear.
Fazbear.
Fraz my fucking brain watching this shit.
Yeah, and you say, back to what you were saying earlier about the film, I guess I could see it being a little bit kiddie because of the, we know the whole time that Vanessa is up to something, and that, what's his name? Steve, Shaggy, or I guess William, whatever you want to call him, he's up to something. And I guess ever since they were in his office and he said he didn't want to say like Mike's last name. He was like, Mike, oh, and then he paused. I'm like, what the fuck is going on there? So we know there's some foul play going on.
Yeah, that should have been a dead giveaway, shouldn't it? If you're paying attention.
Yeah. I was like, why didn't he want to? But I was just, why? And it wasn't answered until the very end, which, I appreciate that. But it's so obvious. So, I understand maybe the kiddiness to it. How it's a little bit spoon-fed to you.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And then it makes it even extra weird that we focus so much on the trauma and the dreams, and the repetitiveness of it is just so weird. Like oh, can we not do this better?
We have all these flashbacks, and I know they're not flashbacks. His dream flashbacks.
But it feels like a flashback, of course.
It does feel like a flashback, and they're the same thing over and over. And I know it, follows one kid and then he follows another kid, and it's slightly different, but completely unnecessary.
It's not deep enough in any way whatsoever for this to have any kind of effect. It's not even as deep as Saw, where we just get a little bit more of the story each flashback.
Right.
A little bit more of the flashback each time it's shown, I should say.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's kind of frustrating. Like, give me something. We're not getting anything out of these characters, and then performances are not helping. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, this is killing the mood. Yeah. This is killing the vibe. This is killing the pace of the entire movie. And the movie is kind of long when you're having to sit through this, an hour and 40. And I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it at all. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, the flashback dream sequences, whatever you want to call them, they don't have, like you said, the Saw, bigger picture here, or the Easter eggs, or the, oh, I should have caught that moment. And they're mainly there to know, A, his brother got, and then B, that these kids are the animatronics. And maybe that's another kiddie element that, is supposed to make a kid feel so smart. It's like, oh my god, that little kid had a hook.
That little kid had bunny ears.
That little kid had bunny ears, exactly. That little kid in the front is wearing brown. I don't know, They're the animatronics. Okay. You don't have to chase like 3 kids for that.
I know, it was kind of the same sequence there for a couple of them.
Like 3.
It was weird. It felt like someone's first movie with a lot of money.
Yeah.
It really does. And I'm not really sure what else Emma has participated in, but...
Well, I can't even click her name on Wiki.
Well, okay, that's kind of strange. But I did see that Chris Columbus was originally envisioned to tackle this project, which would have been potentially something really special.
Yeah.
Because he's responsible for, the Goonies. I don't love the Goonies at all, but that's very loved. Mm-hmm. And then the first 2 Harry Potter films, which are arguably my favorites, but definitely very dreamlike, just crazy fleshed out, films.
Yeah.
He probably would have asked for too much money, maybe. He would have demanded too much money. Maybe that's why they went with Emma here.
This seems like a film that it had the potential for you to get Chris Columbus. It had
the potential to make so much money. It's already made so much money. Already the first weekend, and that's partially on Peacock. I think this film could have probably been a $400 to $500 million banger if it was only in theaters.
Yep.
And I think it's probably going to flatline around 350 with being on Peacock and theaters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, this is spend that $50 million,
Yeah, for sure.
and maybe get better talent too, or maybe just completely revamp the story.
I think that would help. I mean, I don't think these actors are.
I don't think it's an actor
Yeah,
problem.
I don't
I'm
think
with
so
you.
either.
I would like to shout out every YouTube cameo, but to be honest, I can only name one, and it's Matt Pat. He was the guy at the diner.
Yeah.
That was Matt Pat.
Okay.
He does a lot of theory videos on pretty much everything you can think of, but I like his game theory videos.
That's cool. That's cool that they incorporated these YouTubers. I don't know any of them really.
Boomer.
I don't watch the YouTubes.
Do you even know what the internet is?
The what? The World Wide Web?
So there's this guy named Markiplier. This is a YouTuber, I should say. No one's named Markiplier, but there's this YouTuber named Markiplier, and he's like, I don't know if he got famous off of Five Nights at Freddy's, but he's like one of, if not the Five Nights at Freddy's guy on YouTube originally. I don't know about now. He's probably playing other stuff now, but he plays games. He wasn't in the film, and that's because he's working on his own film, which I found out. That's why I'm telling you this right now, is because he's working on his own film. Another YouTuber working on his own movie.
A Five Nights at Freddy movie?
No, just his own creation.
Okay, that's cool.
But so that's why I didn't partake in this. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting we're having these YouTubers making their own films.
I know.
Like the
Talk to Me guys.
Yeah, the Talk to Me guys. Well, let's talk about some of the things we did like about this film.
Animatronics.
Why weren't there more of it?
Why did we focus so much on the cupcake?
Dude, I love that. I love the cupcake.
I like the cupcake, but it was like the main animatronic we focused on.
I am fine with that.
You fine with that? I was just like,
so good. It was so cute. Like
Yeah.
the colors, they got them on point.
yeah, I liked it. I don't remember the cupcake being part of the games. I haven't played most of them.
They were on the ones I played.
They were okay, or it was.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a little weird that it was like the main killer.
I was completely fine with that. I love the cupcake.
That's funny. Okay, good. I like the cupcake too. Don't get me wrong. I did not like the balloon boy that kept scaring everybody. I was just like, that
was kind of dumb.
I don't know what that is. That's
Yeah.
obviously in the games, and
That's obviously something. Yeah.
that's something for sure. I just was not here for that bit.
Is that like something, maybe some people can let us know. Is that something that gets people in the games?
Maybe
Is that a big scare in the games?
a big surprise kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like yeah, I don't know.
I did like the kind of 80s music we had going on and the 80s vibes,
Sure.
especially in the beginning. And in the beginning, I got major Stranger Things vibe, but then they let us know that this was from the 80s, or I guess Freddy's building, the place, center, whatever you fucking call it, was from the 80s. So then it all kind of clicked and made sense. But I did like that. That was pretty cool. And some of the games they had in there, some of the decorations they had in there, really all the set pieces were so cool.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
definitely did a fucking amazing job with that. I also like the onboarding / training video that he had.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's actually that was a really cool part. Yeah,
That was a nice touch. I like that.
and I think that's one of the main promotional things they showed, the internet before the movie came out.
Oh, okay.
And so maybe they knew what they had there. That was definitely very cool.
Yeah.
I was like, why? I guess that was at the very beginning. I was like, okay, this has the potential up to that point. And then when the cop got involved and Abby came to work and the animatronics were having a good time, I was just like, this is bizarre. This is like not in a good way, not in a Twin Peaks way, but this is just, I don't like this. Yeah, the onboarding little video is very cool.
Yeah. How did you feel about some of the transition scenes? I guess since we covered in Saw last time, and you mentioned the transitions in Star Wars, how they're very well known. Now I'm paying a little bit more attention to transitions in movies. And I thought this was a really cool transition here where the cupcake went in to go bite, and at the same time the glass broke because someone threw something at the glass, which I thought that was cool. I don't know if you noticed any others that were pretty.
No, nothing in particular. I guess the only one I noticed was when they zoomed in on the sign and then we were inside the building. I was just like, that was kind of weird.
The logo when they went in, yeah.
The logo's very cool though.
The logo
the
was
sign, very cool.
Yes.
I know that's just a recreation probably of what's in the game, but I love to see, things brought to real life.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, people love that shit.
Absolutely.
There was another transition where when he was doing his little cleaning sequence, which was kind of awesome, even though it was very short. It was pretty cool. How fast he cleaned and how good he was at cleaning. But there was a sign that was on the floor, so the camera was kind of tilted a little bit, and then when he picked up the sign, the camera moved up with the sign as he picked it up, and that was very neat. I guess I don't know if my eyes are now picking up things or if this is something I don't see very often, but I thought that was cool.
No, it must be your eyes picking stuff up, because this kind of stuff happens all the time. People get cutesy and artsy with all kinds of shit, and that's good. I didn't even notice that. That's why can't we get that kind of fun in the storytelling?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the cinematography part, the capturing the actions and the dialogue, that's the harder part, I think, than writing a sufficient story.
And that's the part they fucking nailed.
Or they did decent at the very least. But that's cool.
I mean, I think that's what kept us at least captivated.
Yeah. I'm into animatronics too. I love puppet work. Apparently, I think it was Foxy. It caught on fire during filming. And
they had to get a new Foxy? Or I'm sure they have several?
Oh, yeah. They probably made a few for sure. And but I don't know if they built that in. Like they made that make sense in the... I didn't notice it. I was kind of looking for it, but I didn't really notice it. Foxy's always kind of fucked up looking.
That's
true.
So
I couldn't really tell. But yeah, that happened. It's kind of fun though for like the people who are obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's kind of like a cursed film kind of thing, like how all those people died on the set of The Exorcist or something like that.
Oh yeah, okay.
I can't remember if that's true or not, but one of those movies, Poltergeist, I think is one of those cursed films too. So. There's a bunch of them, though.
I don't know how people can keep working on films that have that kind of stuff going on. I would have quit. I don't care. I'm so sorry to let everyone down, but I am leaving. I'm not risking this. It's like, it's like playing with Ouija boards. Why would you do that? There's something going on here. Leave.
But you're not curious?
Hell no. Curiosity killed the cat, my friend.
But the cat has 9 lives.
Well, you know what? Maybe it's on its 9th life. You never know.
What did I like about this movie? I really can't say much more than the set design, just in general. Even the apartment, pretty fleshed out and cool. I kept noticing the wooden, like the faux wooden doors or whatever they were. That they weren't those white indoor doors. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They were that wooden thing going on.
I didn't see that, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. They always remind me of like cheaper places, cheaper apartments and everything. And I was like, I don't know. I just kept looking at them. I thought those were kind of interesting. An interesting choice to have. I guess it reminded me of cheaper places, and this dude is down on his luck, so it kind of worked on that level.
Yeah.
But yeah, set design in general was very cool. The security office, very cool. Wish we could have spent more time in there.
Yeah, and I guess that's the game I played. Takes place in mainly the security office. I guess I don't really know how the games work. I just played this one that my brother made me play, and it's the one where you're like fixing them. And then the one where you're in the security office and you gotta look through the cameras. And that should have been built up more if it's part of a game.
I mean, and also especially if they were gonna kind of start from the beginning,
Yeah.
Let's get a little bit more of I mean, I want to say let's get a little bit more of Mike doing his thing, but he just fucking sleeps the whole time,
Yeah.
trying to solve his problems in his dreams because
Yep.
he's obsessed with dream theory. That was such a strange angle. That was the worst part of the movie, and such a strange choice to completely focus on, basically.
Yeah.
At
I
least for the
agree.
first 2/3 of the film.
I definitely agree. Although I did like the intro scene where he's, getting frozen yogurt, I guess, or whatever he's getting, ice cream, and he sees that kid getting, getting manhandled by his dad, so he thinks he's getting kidnapped.
Yeah, he can still be, stricken with this trauma. I'm fine with that, but
Yeah.
in fact,
I love that
That's
scene.
nice character. Yeah, that was
awesome.
definitely probably top 5 scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
And it was his introduction. I feel like there's just a million better ways and a million better examples that they could have looked at to handle this instead of trying to.
One thing I didn't get is how did the new picture she drew, influence what happened
awkward.
here?
Yeah,
it was weird.
That was super awkward. An awkward change of mood. I mean, I guess there's these complicated feelings happening within the kids that they kind of, I guess, a Stockholm syndrome situation kind of going on here, where they've been held captive for a while. I'm not sure when this movie takes place, but they've been held captive for, I would assume, 30, 40 years.
Yeah. And at one point, Vanessa even says he influences them somehow. Like, William. But she's like, but I don't know how. He just influences them somehow. I'm like, how? That's kind of important.
Yeah.
That we know how these kids are being influenced.
Yes. Yeah, and then her placing the picture up there reminds them that, oh yeah, we were kidnapped. Like, okay, I think I see what you're going for here. Did you catch that the Freddy that went to go get Abby was a different Freddy?
Because his eyeball was missing?
Yeah.
Huh. I saw that his eyeball was missing, but I assumed that Ice, snoozed or just was out of it when his eye went missing.
Like, what?
Yeah, so I was like, okay, must have missed that. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, no, because immediately after, the other Freddy had his eyeball in his ear. I think the ear was fucked up too.
Oh.
So I think that was a different Freddy. Which, I mean, I guess there are several Freddys, but I was just like, what? And when she got back to Freddy Fazbear's, I was just like, okay. I mean, that's fine, but I feel like we need something. You're not giving me anything with this movie.
We need an explanation for that.
For any of it. I mean, just something, a little more character.
Or a little teaser.
A little pizzazz,
If
a little teaser.
If you're going to explain it in the next film, which I completely understand, I'm all for that. We need a little teaser. We need something to let us know that you're going to explain it to us.
Totally. That should have been what was part of the post-credit scene.
You mean the mid-credit scene?
It was a weird mid-credit scene, yeah. Because normally you get the little stylized credits, and then you get the rolling credits. And then in between the stylized and rolling credits, you get the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
And then occasionally, I guess you get the double post-credit scene kind of thing. But it was mid-stylized credit scenes because that's all we got. We didn't get the proper rolling credit scene like you normally see.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nothing.
It was stupid.
It was stupid. It was unbelievably stupid. I was like, what? I mean, I guess it's at least consistent with most of the movie, but I was just like, this is...
Which, that mid-credit scene is what made me think that this balloon man is something integral to the game.
He must be.
In his scare factor. And if he's not, then wow.
Yeah, they used him 3 times.
Yes.
They spent, I don't know, 5 minutes probably on him in total or something.
That's a bit much. Some of the story here is bland and inconsistent, or maybe just not enough for it to be inconsistent. We need more. And I don't know if this was maybe this was an inconsistency, but there was a part where I think Vanessa was saying something like, you shouldn't have brought Abby here, or, whatever. And he was like, well, I need her to find out for me if these kids know what happened to Garrett. And then she was like, well, you should have done it yourself. And he was like, I tried. And I was like, when did you try to ask these kids? When did you try to contact them? Did I miss that too?
In his dreams.
Jesus. In his dreams?
Yeah. That's what he's talking about.
That's what he's talking about?
Yeah.
That's not trying to contact them.
Yeah.
That you gotta go up to Freddy. That's your dreams, bro.
Yeah, the dream thing is weird. It's a weird focus.
Okay.
And they made such a big deal about it every chance they got that I feel like that is probably also maybe really important to the series that I'm just not aware of.
Yeah, I have no clue. No clue whatsoever.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is an example of a series, a game franchise that should not have a cinematic kind of adaptation.
No, man, you have a lot of source material.
There is. You would think something could come of it, even if you have to rush through some of it, you know?
Even that sentence you told me earlier about William Afton and he's not Bunnyman, he's trapped in another Freddy. Like, what you just told me sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Just to do a story on him.
And they call it Springboard Freddy, I think. Or they call it Spring Trap Freddy. And the Freddy itself just looks awesome. It's crazy looking.
Do that!
Yeah. They should have basically recreated. However, to get to that point. Maybe we could have had a dramatic look at William Afton. A look at him losing his mind, because I'm pretty sure he loses one of his daughters to an experiment of his, to one of the animatronics.
Okay, that already sounds awesome. I'd watch that.
I know. That's what I thought might happen. That they're trying to merge.
Maybe Vanessa is the one he loses?
No, she was a child. She was a little kid.
Oh, she was a little kid.
And that's what makes it like really fucking crazy. Like she was like 7 or 8 and she got eaten by one of these animatronics.
Shit. That sounds great.
I'm pretty sure. I might be misremembering, but if not, they need the...
Didn't do that, even if it's not real.
Because Mike's not the character. I think Mike is the name of the security guard from the first movie, I'm pretty sure. But he's not a character. He's you who's experiencing the jump scares. The character, not the only character, but the main character is William Afton. I would have bet everything that we were going to get some kind of telling of his story.
That sounds great. That's definitely strange that they took that approach with making Mike us. You know, what do you call it? The audience surrogate? Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah, they took the...
Was it to make us feel like we're playing a game?
Well, they didn't capture it like that if they did.
Yeah.
If that was the intention, because Mike was so... Not really fleshed out, but he was given a lot of character, and he was given a lot of humanity, I should say. Because, you know, in games, when you're handed these characters who are just vessels for you to experience the world in, that's a very normal thing in games, and you can't make a movie around that. That's impossible. Yeah. Of course, we get the audience surrogate in movies, but audience surrogates are rarely ever the main character.
Yeah.
And like the real drama we get out of... See, just makes me believe that they really tried to go hard on this is for kids. Because it would have been thematically pretty intense if we focused on William. And that would have... I don't know, maybe they didn't think that would speak to kids at all, and this was kind of a compromise, I guess, for the audiences. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he started Freddy's Pizzeria with a partner, and they had different visions, and so they separated. And then his partner became much bigger with his establishment, and William was kind of left behind with his, and it just... I don't know. He became obsessed. He became obsessed with his technology because he was the inventor of these animatronics, and they were much more than animatronics. They're robots. Like they can do tasks and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like what we see here, obviously, but I don't know. That's like, at the same time, that's what these people grew up with, you know? The people who like Five Nights at Freddy's. They know these stories. So it's just like, who are you targeting this towards? Is this a different timeline? Are we entering some kind of, I don't know if that's part of Five Nights at Freddy's, some kind of multiverse? Disappointed.
Yeah.
Disappointed. I don't want to say I had high expectations, but I definitely had, mid expectations, but this is not very good at all on almost any level.
Yeah, I did have high expectations. Not that it was an anticipated movie of mine, but it's a very well-known game. And it's a horror game. So I don't know. There's such a huge fan base, with Five Nights at Freddy's, that I thought it was going to deliver. And, video game movies were or are still kind of are on the upswing. We need a few more bad ones to confirm the oh shit, what happened. But
yeah,
I did have higher expectations for this film.
Yeah, this felt like this. I know this was in kind of the works for a while, and it felt like it probably should have come out 3 or 4 years ago to kind of fit into the timeline of video game movies, because it's not the worst thing ever made by any stretch of the imagination, like some video game movies are. Jesus, it's basically pick your poison pre 2019, 2020. Whatever happened with Monster Hunter before, that's kind of the cutoff, I think. And Uncharted's probably the first decent thing to come out of it. Of course, Resident Evil, they get a pass. I'll give them a pass for you.
Thank you.
But it felt like it kind of fits into that in-between space a little more.
Yeah.
Like, we've got the production thing down, but we don't really know how to convert what's being told in the game to here. They filmed this movie earlier this year. Thought that was kind of interesting. Through February, March, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it came out, I guess, 9 months later. Isn't that wild?
That's crazy. That's not normal. Why?
I don't know. It's
maybe because it had been in the works since 2015.
Yeah, maybe it was super pre-produced.
Yeah.
That might be something to that.
They're like, oh shit, we need to get this out now. ASAP.
Yeah, maybe in super smooth production and editing and stuff. Yeah, there might be something to that. It's also, I guess, like sort of horror, so it seems like those do get made a little quicker.
Did you get any Saw vibes, or was that just me because we had recently covered them, recently talked about them? Like, oh shit, that could be a trap for our dude John Kramer.
Not in a trap way, although I could see that.
But like the I guess the suspense on them trying to get out of the, unscrew the thing or whatever.
Yeah. But I think especially in the forced, lazy reveal and twist, I think that could have been much more effective if they did talk to the Saw guys. And in fact, they probably definitely should have talked to the Saw guys in every way, because I think Five Nights at Freddy's has that kind of convoluted story that happens where you have these twists and turns, and what you would expect to be very graphic. You don't really see a lot of violence in the games, but it's implied mega violence. All these kids are dying and stuff in brutal ways, and I don't know if there's a group of folks who can make a more suitable kind of outline for a movie than the Saw guys. I would have definitely hired them. But the try at the twist definitely made me think Saw. Like, oh my god, like, why didn't we just get those guys to make this? Like, this would have been perfect. Just get Kevin Grutner or whatever his name was to do this too. It was.
I'm for that. I'm all for that, man.
I guess a weird shout out, but the little splash screen of Blumhouse.
Oh yeah,
that was cute.
That was cool.
With the different movies, kind of us moving through the different movies.
When did that?
I don't know.
It feels like very recent.
I'm not sure, but I think Insidious: The Red Door is probably Blumhouse.
I don't know if that had that.
And I think I would have noticed that and remembered that because I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, it was super cool.
So shout out to that splash screen.
We were more amazed by that than this film.
Yeah.
So good job, guys.
They're also, at the same time, Blumhouse is notorious for putting out trashy horror. So, I guess here you go.
It did what it was meant to do.
Yeah. I like trashy horror. That's, one group of movies I will always give a chance. So, but yeah, man. Thank you for watching this film with me.
Thank you.
Even though it was not a great watch, I definitely enjoy the experience with you for sure.
We enjoy watching shitty movies together.
Yeah. You have to watch shitty movies with someone. There's just no other way around it. It's torture without someone there. It really is. Let me hear your budget guess.
My budget guess, $15 million.
Decent guess. It says here it was 20.
Ooh.
So decent guess. I might give you a little pass on that one. And it's already gone on to make 130. According to the wiki, it's already gone on to make 130 million.
Wow.
And that doesn't include probably more than Thursday and Friday, I would say.
Holy shit, this movie's gonna make...
I think this movie's gonna make a lot of money, and I think it was a little bit of a mistake to release it on Peacock because I think maybe adults who just don't understand the games world might have underestimated the power of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes, because we probably would have definitely gone to go see it at the movie theater with the nieces.
Yeah.
And paid all that money.
To fall asleep.
So I definitely agree with you.
Yeah. I think this could have been a $500 million movie. And I think they would have probably kicked themselves not trying to get Chris Columbus more on board. I wonder what the holdup was there. I don't know what else he's doing, Chris Columbus. But
yeah, maybe he was busy and would rather do something else.
But man, when you get someone who... he's made several other mega famous films. The Goonies and the early Harry Potter films come to my mind. And it's just like, damn. They almost had that guy. Or they did. And maybe they just didn't pay him enough or didn't give him enough budget or something. Or I'm not sure, but they're probably going to be kicking themselves when they break, 350 now. Because I think it's going to have a hard time pushing past that.
Yep.
After the first 2 weeks. I mean, it's because of streaming.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll be wrong. But I think that streaming thing is... Because Peacock's cheap right now, right? Isn't it like $6 or something a month? It's one of the cheaper ones.
Clue. I got a free subscription.
So, well, man, thank you for this talk today. This is the earliest we've ever gotten an episode out over, for a recent movie. That's cool, right?
That is awesome. Good job to us.
Well, thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Filmistines. Remember, you can catch us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for brand new episodes over on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Pandora. Pick your poison. But until next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmistines. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives in the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines. And follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmistines, signing off.